Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. Okay, stayed up way too late because there's a lot of people shaking their heads, scratching their heads, don't comprehend what the F is going on. And, I used to be one of those people, okay? But I stayed up way too late. I got into it, delved into it, sat with it, really milled it around. Here's what's happening. Okay, so, number motherfucking one. You are the parent of all the children on this planet. I cannot stress this enough. In Florida, Jackson, Florida, they're going into high schools and raiding high schools. Okay, that's where all the robber barons just moved to. We need to be higher up on our little perches, making sure that we don't zoom in too far into Minnesota. We need to be vigilant, okay? And set off the alarm bells where we need to set off the alarm bells. Because once we distract ourselves too much with one thing, other things could slip through the cracks. We have to recall a time where we could remember that this is just a stupid distraction. Where's the files, okay? No, okay, we don't need the files. We know it's all corrupt. Drop the files, okay? What we should have asked for was Tesla and something else. Anyway, Tesla and whatever the hell else would have made this an easier life for us without torturing and killing the environment. All right, off my chest. Thank you for letting me rant for 2 seconds. I appreciate that. So, when we have any situation in our lives, again, this is a weaving here. We're keepers of the flame, the whole flame, not bits and pieces of it. When we have confusion on how to move forward, when they instill in us the what the fuck, when we're like, I don't, wow, who, why, what, that is their signal to us that they do not want us clear and concise because when you're clear about what you're seeing, you can make choices. You can make better choices. You're moving from a place of autonomous authority. Ooh, can't have that. Okay, so we're gonna break it down. I might have to do a 2-parter again. Just, okay, knocking it over brick by brick. That's all we're doing, okay? It's a psychological warfare, okay? Psychological. They've been doing this for thousands of years. Psychological warfare. You trace it back. If you can't, I don't want to pick up a history book. Cool. Sit down. Talk to your bones. Okay? So, yeah, talk to your bones. They'll talk back. You just have to learn how to speak the body language. Learn how to feel through things rather than be all logical and up in your head. So if you're encountering, you're too emotional. That's somebody that's really scared of your intuition. Don't back off. That's gaslighting. There's no such thing as too emotional. There isn't. They just want you to believe that. They put you into those states to get you into hysterical. With the gaslighting, the word salad, they do that on purpose. Okay? They do it on purpose. So if you just see the pattern, be like, you want to miss me with that? Because you about to get hit with something else, and I'm just stepping back and letting that come through all the way without me stepping in front of it any longer. That's why they need women. They want us stepping in front of their karma. Women were to blame for everything that men did wrong. Okay, so not only were we abused in our own homes, but we got it from the rest of society as well. So, I'm not claiming victim on that. I'm just saying, we because we got it from all angles, we'll see it from all angles. Okay, that's our superpower now. So, come on, come with me, and you'll be in the world of choking down red pills. Okay, so let's start. We'll get to the subconscious undercurrent in just a moment, but I want you to come on a little bit of a journey back in history. There's a little thing called Jamestown, right? I referenced it the other day. Okay, when we have a narrative that's running through our history, we chase that back. This is why they do not want women in their bodies. Any women, not just white women, but African American women. Okay, and Asian women, baby, start speaking up. There's a few online that I found. Asian women, we need your voices, babies. Come on. Dude, if anybody's gonna win a war, it's a fucking Asian lady. Anyway, just saying. If anybody's gonna win a motherfucking war, it's an Asian woman. You ever heard of the Empress Wu? Goddamn, those women can pull that shit together. Come on. Okay. Sorry. Just saying. Okay, so breaking down the red pill psychology over here. That's right. White women gonna be the raccoons rummaging through the fucking trash, so you get out of your fog about this. Okay. So when we have a confusion narrative, right? When you're fogged, you can't decide how to move forward because you're like, what the that is their tactics, and it's working. It is working. That is your number one signal. Oh fuck, I need to go back to the drawing board and figure this shit out. Okay, white women gonna be 20 steps ahead. Come on. Slave master narrative. Okay, that's number one. That's number one on their agenda. Slave master narrative. How do you confuse the slave? Put them in a fog. Okay, however you need to. Confuse the ever-living daylights out of them. Be kind one day, be cruel the next. Right? Give him one job to do, tell him he's got to do it every day for the rest of his life, and then totally remove him from that and put him in another job. Okay? Get his system used to something. Legit, these are toxic. Get him into a groove where he finds some semblance of peace, joy, anything, and then bludgeon him to death for having it, and then switch his job up. So he does not have that comfort and joy any longer. These are tactics. And I know it's cruel. As pasty over here, that's what they do. Okay. So, now I'm not saying that all men get violent about it, but they will notice when you all of a sudden can come straight in your body and get calm, collected, and God forbid joyful. Ooh. That will piss Massa off real quick. Okay? So there's your number one rebellion. Find your joy. Find your peace. Find your flow. Freaking nail it. Okay? Slave master narrative. Okay, slave master. They will always seek to obstruct you from being in your body. That's the whole narrative. That's how they keep control. If they can keep you out of your system, it gives them automatic control over it. If you're afraid to be, that's why beatings work so well, because you don't want to be in your body when it's in so much pain. That's why they use it. If it didn't work, they wouldn't use it. Okay? The whole goal is to get you outside of your body and in a state of pain, terror, scarcity, whatever it is. That's the whole goal. That's the whole objective of this entire movement. Okay? Dare I say the government. They want you scared and confused. They want you to know that there's no one coming to save you now. This is why the Jesus narrative is so freaking dangerous. You have too many people out there going, only the National Guard, and then Congress, and then the systems that aren't doing jack diddly squat right now. No. You are on your own. Okay. Pisces will tell you, you are on your own. Congratulations. America, in American years, is officially 40 with 4 children, and you just need a cardboard box, bitch. Okay. See how this works? Multi-level, multi-layered, multi-fractal ecosystem. Okay, let's shut it down. So, slave master. Then you have, let's go with race next on the list. Okay. That came back in the day with the separation, right? So that's ingrained not only in their red pill community mindset, I want to say, but it's also like just banter back and forth. If you go in the comments, it's just banter. It's just a way to perform, especially on the, because I don't feel like they really actually believe that anymore. I believe they hate women. I don't believe they believe the racist stuff anymore. They're just being racist to be racist. I think it's just auto-encoded and it just comes out. I don't think they see humans at all. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. There's a switch that flips when it comes to that. Now, the reason why, we'll get into that later. Okay? So the bigotry, it's auto-coded. Auto-coded, it's bro code. It is red pill code. It has to be there if you want to keep your brother in circle. Okay. And it is all pervasive. Although, when we are looking at the footage of the people arrested, they are no longer using skin tone as a laser pointer. They are not using skin tone any longer. That is more than clear, okay? Rich white men and women have been arrested, shoved in the back of an unmarked vehicle and hauled off, okay? Legit. And born here U.S. citizens. Okay, so they're being non-discriminatory all of a sudden. But that's because they want the pasties afraid to. They don't want to let the pasties know that they're safe. Because if the pasties know we're safe, and we are, even if we're not, we still are, because this is we'll break it down, but this is a shit show from hell. Okay. We'll just need to send the parasites back where they came from. Okay. So, that is another control tactic. Okay. So, you have a narrative of racism, and then all of a sudden you're not seeing it on the streets anymore. All of a sudden, they're not only arresting brown people. That's confusion. That's, hey, that doesn't go with the playbook. That's, hey, what is this? That's why people's alarm bells are going off so much probably in Minnesota right now. That's probably why. And that's probably why the brown people have wised up real quick, because they realize this ain't just a white person fight. This is now like we hitting the history books, okay? And fucking kudos to those people who know their history, okay? Who have done their human homework and can see the patterns. Freaking bravo. Bravo, okay? And keep supporting each other. Don't let that go, no matter what happens, okay? Even if we do get this crap out of our country, don't ever stop that. Keep that running. Keep that flowing. Keep that community coming in. This is a perfect opportunity for all of us to get into a community where we can start coming together to figure out how we're going to move forward after this empire crumbles. Okay? I cannot stress that enough. Get safe in your body so you can go out into the community and create safety there as well. Okay? So the next one I want to tap on, which I kind of tapped on yesterday, is the sex aspect of it. They hate women because they can't be women. They can't create life, which it makes them insanely jealous. Okay. Fucking sanely jealous. When you bring a baby in, ooh. Number one, they have to be the baby. And number two, the fact that your body can even perform those functions enrages them like nothing else. It enrages them. Okay, I'm not talking about the men from the past. I'm talking about the red pill community right now. Okay. They want you in the kitchen making sandwiches. They don't want you in the baby's room changing diapers and singing lullabies. Ooh. Okay? So you have to remember, when someone wants your energetic essence, if you will, and they're jealous of it, and that's all it is. It's not this whole, think of the Dracula narrative. How about that? Let's think of the Dracula narrative, okay? They make it out to be as if it's some sort of romantical blah 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 blah. But he found the cream of the crop. Okay? He found the young sweet thing that he could keep forever young. Okay? That's gonna look that way, forever young, forever. Okay? After he had done what with all the other, with his sacred perfume? And oh my God, ladies, learn to detox from that brain eating parasitic crap. Okay, I hear ya. I used to be a vamp lover myself, but that's part of detoxing from the Christianity Catholic narrative. Okay. Yeah, that's right. They're one and the same. Do you know who wrote Twilight? A Mormon. Anyway, so nah, yeah, huh? Yep. Mormon wrote Twilight. The parallels between the two narratives, yeah, not a time to go through that, but there's a lot of parallels between the parasitic vampire and the master slave narratives. Okay, so when we have not only the masculine feminine divide, where they're jealous and hateful of the one that can do so much more than they will ever be able to do, that's what pisses them off. They want that ability themselves, okay? Because that would actually give them more power, okay? That would give them more power to create the armies, to rule over the ashes, I guess. But then we have another narrative, okay? The gay versus the straight. There's only one reason why you're going to be obsessed with what everybody else is doing with their genitals. There's only one reason. There's only one reason why you need to stick your face in between everybody else's crotch. There's only one reason. Okay? Okay? You want to know where that person's been. You want to know what they're about. You want to know if you can tap it. You want to know if you can use it, abuse it, fuck it, and throw it away. That's all they're looking for. This is why they are so obsessed with demonizing any sex at all. They can't tolerate the 304. They can't tolerate the gays. They can't tolerate any could be possible slut just trying to get a meal on a first date, taking advantage of my bank account, my pantacles. Bitch, you don't know me. You ain't never gonna know me. I just do your thing. See, that's what they want. And then they will turn around and be like, I can't marry you. You a slut. And then, you know, 2 weeks in, they're like, listen here, you prude. Dude, it's not about winning with them. It's about confusion and overpowering and confusion and overpowering. And it's just an empty cycle that leads to nowhere. And women finally woke up to it or got free from it. Okay. I think we were always awake to it. We just didn't have the grip to pull ourselves out. Okay. So that's the other thing too, is the red pill community has had sex used against them psychologically. They have no comprehension to hold anything sacred any longer. Okay. They don't. They pretend. They pretend to hold sacred. They pretend. They're really good at it. They are really, really, really good at giving verbiage to, oh, women are sacred. We gotta love them nice. Done open that door just like you would for your horsies. So this whole thing, this whole dog and pony show, is all about looking good. We gotta look good. We gotta talk good. Only we can dismiss 90% of humanity. Okay, so when they're screaming, women only want like 20% of guys, they want like 5 to 10% of women. Just gotta have a bank account, a booty, a boost, or a bust. What else? Just, she's gotta be pretty, something you can show off and take out and flaunt around. And again, the contents of the inner realms are forbidden for those women. They're forbidden. It's a Stepford wife type of thing. Everybody's got to be a freaking robot. Okay, think trad wife content. It's all for show. There's nothing in there, because if there was, they'd be like, fuck this shit. Okay, nothing doing on the inside. It's all a parakeet narrative. I love the Lord Jesus, my Savior. And then it all falls apart if you start asking questions. Okay, it's a show. It's a proclamation of, I am better than you, and I know more than you, and I believe better than you, and my life is better than yours. That's what they're displaying when they're like, the Lord Jesus. Every time you hear those words, God bless, I have moral superiority over everyone. Just auto assume that's what they're saying, because that's what they're saying. On a subconscious undercurrent, that's what they're saying. Okay? And yes, I'm tying sex back to religion. Okay. There are certain things that if they knew just how Epstein Jesus was, they'd be a little bit more upset. Mark 14:51. Go look it up. 8-year-olds, dude. So, yeah. And as bad as you think it is, it's actually really worse. William Sasha Riley. Yeah. That bad. Okay. And then some. We got sex. Okay. So the other thing is, it's down to slave master again. Job or no job? How much are you slaving away for your community? How much are you working for the billionaire class? How much energy are you giving to the system keeping you enslaved? They're literally unpaid shills for a movement that's going to bulldoze them and torture them and William Sasha Riley them the moment they sign up to join the army. Ka-tink. Anyway, I can't make this shit up. I mean, it's not comedy anymore. It's the divine comedy, if you want to call it that. All right. What else? Okay, so what's the subconscious undercurrent through all this? What's the subconscious undercurrent? What are they busting ass? What's the red pill community busting ass to keep you ignorant of? Pain, trauma, depression, complete and utter numbness from the brain down. Because that's what it is. You would have to be numb to the brain down in order to still support this. It's a freaking requirement. How do you get there? How do you get an entire chunk of a U.S. population, and again, This is a fraction of the MAGA that used to be. This is just the outskirt extremist nut jobs. Okay, so this is our extremist group. Red pill is our extremist group. Okay. And let us not wave the proud flag for that, please. Okay. Not that we didn't get help from other countries, because there's a lot of podcasts, bro. Well, the number one dangerous podcaster is the Diary of a CEO guy. Holy fuck, did he flip Agent Smith? And BBC clocked it. About 18 months ago, they did a... What the fuck? Diary of a CEO... I don't even want to give that man credence. Fuck his... Okay. So you have the red pill, okay? They've collected them. They have them in a poem. Completely and utterly devoid. How did they get them there? How did they get them there? How is that inner world actually working? What does it take to get an entire freaking community to go up against basically everyone else? Basically humanity itself. How does that happen? How does that happen? You get them to degrade humanity. Okay. All whilst letting them become detached from the human being they are. And how do you get them to completely sever that cord? How do you get them to look at a videotape of someone being gunned down in the streets and then have them screaming internal bleeding by the person who point blank, even though he got struck by a vehicle, was able to aim that gun straight into that woman's face 3 fucking times? How the hell? I got 3 times. Didn't miss once. But he's got internal bleeding. That's how hard he was struck. Do you see the numb from the brain down thing? The numb from the brain down thing. If you are being struck by a vehicle, how are you... Not only he hit her once, but when she was passing him, he shot her twice. After being struck with the vehicle. Do you see what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. Okay, so not only have they tried to gaslight us, they themselves have been completely gutted. Brain down. Gutted. Okay, numb. Just gone. So the very thing they are, which is out of their body, you have to be out of your body in order to perceive any of this as some sort of foundation for reality. Okay, you have to be. It's a requirement. How do you do that? You hold up the mirror to them. Okay, you're holding up the mirror and you're saying, okay, humanity is like this, and humanity is you. So if this is their view of humanity, which I've just broken down for you, do you know what that subconscious undercurrent program is running? Suicide. Okay. You will never get a man to commit homicide without first instilling suicide. Okay. This is not, oh, those poor babies. If you even. Absolutely not. No. This is what I'm breaking down for you so you comprehend that when they are spewing this ignorant crap and confusing the ever-living daylights out of you, William Sasha Riley, live in his skin for 5 fucking seconds. That's how you get the program running. You have to hollow out the human in order to proceed with this. It is a requirement. You have to do it. Okay, this is psychological warfare. They have known it since pre-Roman times. We don't have records of how back far this actually goes. I'm sure the Egyptians knew this. Every other pagan before the Egyptians and everything else knew this. They all knew this, okay? It's just, I bet we have a pretty white man who likes to sit all day and write stuff down, and he died, and now we're gonna parakeet his words. Okay, so, yeah, dead white, rich, entitled men. That's what our society is built off of, and that's not going to last, because this is where it gets us. Okay, so bye-bye, Felicia. No more of this. Okay. They steal everything and then totally corrupt it to the point of we don't even have access to the truth until we... I'm getting hot under the collar. I just put my sweatshirt on before the video. Okay. All right, so when we can come to a comprehension state, right? Not a sympathy state, not a, no, they are past that. Even if you were to do that, they would hack off your limb. Listen to me, listen to me. When we have a institutionalized 3-letter agency run PSYOP community that has completely been hijacked, I cannot stress this enough. If you reach out, they will cut your limb off. I've seen it done before. Do not, under any circumstances, interact with these government-controlled unpaid shills. Okay, don't even interact with ICE. There's a whole other thing. So, you are not legally obligated to talk to them or open your doors. Shut your curtains. Don't open the door. Don't. Just ignore them. Because they're not getting any warrants or whatever the fuck they're called. Okay. Ignore them. That's what you see it time and time again when you're trying to find Minnesota Beaters, and all it is the dude knocking on the window going blah, 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 and they just sit there. They don't do anything. They don't roll the window down. They just sit there like they're not even there. This is how to get a that's the best way to ghosting is the best way to get a narky McNarkerton off your case anyway. Just ignore